Welcome, my name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord, and I'm back with another project for our Canadian Wildlife Journal, and I have another freebie for you. So this is the freebie, and of course you can do anything that you want with it. You don't have to do the project that I'm going to show you, but I thought I would show you something that you could do with this. So there's 2 larger tags, 3 smaller tags, and 3 circles to cut out. So this one I just printed on one side on lightweight cardstock, and I have another piece of paper that I just printed from the kit to back onto there. The circles don't need to be backed, but I want to back all of the tags. So I'm going to cut these out, glue them onto here, and cut those out. So I don't think you need to see me do that. Well, I'll maybe just show you one just to give you a bit of refresher. This is Junk Journal 101, so I'm trying to be mindful of beginners who are just joining us. So if you are just on this journey, welcome. I titled this playlist Junk Journal 101 Beginning the Addiction, and it truly is an addiction. I don't know what it is about it, but most of the people that I've talked to that do junk journaling just find it kind of irresistible to do. It's just so satisfying to take, like this is a digital kit, so this is new stuff, but a lot of times we do take junk and turn it into pretty journals. Like even on my my journal here, I have an old manila file folder. This was some recycled stuff inside there. So there's, this was some old music paper. So we take things that we would ordinary people would throw away. I use lots of old envelopes, old packing, Amazon packing, old books that are kind of thrown away or in rough condition, on and on and on, and repurpose them and make them beautiful. So it is kind of an addicting thing, because I think we just really like the fact that we're repurposing things and not having to throw things away, and we're finding a new use for something that would otherwise be thrown away. So it's a really satisfying hobby. So I just glued onto the back of this tag, and then with some glue stick, I'm using Elmer's Extreme, and then I just touched up the corners and a little ways around the edge with Elmer's Glue All. It's Elmer's Glue All. I just have it in a little bottle here, and that will just make the tag really nice and secure there. So I just cut that out like that, and then I usually will ink around the edges. Just because there's a little bit of white showing. I did digitally ink these as well, but sometimes there's just a little bit of white. I don't know if you can see as I'm doing this. There's a little bit of white just on the edge there, and it's nice to just get rid of that. Just give it a little more finished look. This tag is, because I just had, the backing was just paper. It's a little bit floppy right now, but once that glue dries, it'll be a lot firmer. So I am good with that. Sometimes I just stick them underneath my glass mat just to keep them nice and flat until I'm ready to use them. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make, I think I called it a pouch pocket flip. So just kind of a little unique piece of ephemera, pouch pocket for our journal. Something that's a little bit different, but super easy to make. So I just have a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper here. I've printed it borderless, but if you don't have it borderless, that's totally fine. Just cut off the white edges on the edge. This is from the original kit, but you can use whatever paper you want. So I'm just going to, on the 11-inch side, I'm just going to take off 1 inch here first to begin with. So I'm just going to line that up on my trimmer, trim off 1 inch, and get rid of that. Then I'm going to grab my scoring board. And if you're not using a scoring board, then you can just use it you can just do your scores and folds like you usually do. So I am going to score on, and I'm going to put the 8.5 inch side up at the top, and I'm going to score at 1.5 inches. And I'm going to fold that in like that. And then I'm just going to put it up against the upper left-hand corner within the folded position. I'm going to take this side and I'm going to fold it over just to meet the other edge. So I'm just basically folding it in half like that. And then I'm just going to open it up. I might as well just open up the whole thing, it's probably easier. And then I'm going to fold it in half the other way. And this is just a piece of copy paper. It's 32-pound copy paper, but you wouldn't have to use 32 pounds. You can use whatever you have. You could even use cardstock. It might be a little bit trickier to fold, but so then you have this. You have 4 panels, rectangles, and then 2 smaller rectangles at the bottom. So I'm going to pinch this together, and just at the bottom here where there's this smaller rectangle, what I want to do is I want to cut a V from this line. So I have this line here, I have this line going down here. I want to cut a V. It won't be this wide though. I'm just exaggerating it to show you. So I want to cut a V out of there. So I'm going to fold it so that they're equal. And I'm just going to start, I don't know, about maybe 1/4 inch from the bottom and cut towards that fold there, but not past it. So just up to that fold. So then I've cut out this little triangle here. Okay. So there's my triangle. So then I want to fold these up again. Now I can start using my bone folder and just enforce my creases here. And then I'm going to fold this down here. And just enforce that crease. And then I'm going to fold these 2 edges together in the folded position like that. And enforce that. So we're just reinforcing all of the folds basically. So then what we should have is this folds up, well this folds down first, this folds up, and then this folds together like that. So that's what we want. So get it in that position and then just fold and make sure all your creases are able to fold easily that way. Cut your V like that. I'm just going to do a little bit of inking before I glue here. So I'm just going to glue around. These are actually going to be little pockets. I just want to ink them before I glue them down. Like that. Then I'm going to take my glue, my Elmer's glue all, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this diagonal edge and a little bit of glue on this straight edge here. I don't need any here because I'm going to flip this up, and that's going to form the bottom of our pocket, that fold. So there's one pocket. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just a little bit on the diagonal side, a little bit on the straight side, fold it up, and there I have 2 pockets. And then what I want to do is I want to ink around everything else. I guess I don't really have to do this right now, but I'll speed through this part. right. So I got it inked all around the edges plus the middle on both sides. Then I'm going to grab a circle hole punch or whatever you want. You can even do this by hand. I'm going to put it in a folded position, and I want to cut out a little notch up here. I don't want to interfere with the pocket here. So I'm going to be mindful to just do it up here where the pocket is not. So I'm just going to go in a little ways like that. It's quite a few layers, so you might have to jump on it or something to get it to go. So that just shows us that we've got a little pocket in there. And there we basically have our little piece of ephemera. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it into our journal. Just open up to any page. This one happens to match. So we're going to glue it onto this page here. I'm going to glue it on 3 sides here. I'll open it up actually, and I'll glue it just on these 3 sides down here. So I still have this as a pocket, plus this will be a flip, plus I'll have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. And that's where all of these pieces will come in. So I'm just going to quickly cut everything out. I'm going to back these ones just like I did the first one. These don't need to be backed, and then I'll be right back to show you how I finish this up. All right, so I got everything cut up. I got the tags backed onto my paper. I got them glued and inked around. I punched holes. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So for the little one, I'm just going to punch where the hole is indicated, just with a regular hole punch. And then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. And for the little tags, I'm just using about 3 inches of ribbon. There's many different ways that you can do this, but this is what I'm doing today. And then I just kind of center it through the hole like that, push it up, and I'm just going to staple it on. Sometimes I tie it in a bit of a knot, but I don't want the bulk here. So I have this little stapler that I got from Michael's actually, just for a couple of dollars. I don't know if they still have them or not. It's been a few years. And I usually just put 2 staples kind of in a bit of an X. It's not really an X, but one going one way, one going the other way, just to kind of make sure that those staples stay in there. And then what I usually do is I take my pliers and just kind of squish them just so that the back is smooth and I don't cut my fingers, because sometimes I do. So that's the little tags. And then the big tags, I do the same thing. I'll just punch a hole in there. And I just did 4 inches for that one. Probably doesn't need to be that long, but I just had this ribbon around. You can use some twine, you can use a piece of yarn, several pieces of yarn, many different ways that you can put things on for tags. You can just do a piece of paper. So this session with the Junk Journal 101 series, I wanted to get a little bit more into some of the accents, like ribbons and fibers and stuff like that. So that's why I did that. So there's my 2 tags. I cut out these 2 circles, and I happen to have a hole punch that is 2.5 inches in diameter, which is what these circles are. I didn't have this for many years, so you don't have to have it. But if you do happen to have a punch like this, round punches are really nice because they're very versatile, plus getting a perfect round circle by cutting is very difficult. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I was happy when I actually found a bunch of the big ones in a Facebook Marketplace sale one time, and I grabbed them. So there's my 3 circles. So I'll just put those to the side for a minute. So now what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of decoration on here. And you can leave it fairly plain if you want to, or you can add, you know, little bits of decoration. So this is what's going to be glued down. So this will be my front cover. So let's do something on the front cover first. I have this piece of Bible page that I just ripped out of a piece of, I just had it in my scrap bin. It just came like this actually. But I just kind of ripped along the edges in the shape that I wanted. In fact, I might even use this one instead. I think I like this piece instead. It's a little bit smaller, narrower. So I'm just going to ink a little bit on the edges. You don't really have to do that. You probably want your tag to be, or your text to be facing up so you can read it. So I'm going to put a couple of just a book page, and this is just a piece of brown tan paper that was just in my scrap bin. I have this scrap bin at the side of me here, and I just, when I have scraps, I just throw them in here, and then when I need a little scrap for something, I just go through here until I find something that I want. So when it gets too full, then I purge and get rid of some stuff, or I make a few projects. Sometimes I do that. What I want to do here is I want to take one of my circles and layer it and put it onto the front, but I want to kind of ground the circle. So that's why I thought I would put a couple of pieces like this, just to kind of, if I just put the circle like that, it just looks like it's floating a little bit, which is fine. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of a, we'll do collage in another Junk Journal 101 session. There's a lot of, I mean, it's a very easy technique, and you know, you can, it's very loose. You can do it many, many different ways, but there is some ways, some little tricks to kind of help your collage look pleasing to the eye, I guess. So then I'm going to just glue my circle on. And I'm just going to kind of lightly put it on here first, because I'm going to put a couple other things on. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put on yet. I might even stick a little piece of this. This is just a little piece of doily, paper doily. Paper doily is another thing that junk journalers like to use. It just adds another little texture dimension. Just looks nice like that. This was just a bit of scrap that I had in my scrap bin. I have a kit called Labels Galore, and it's got, I can't remember, I was going to look it up, I'll put it on the screen, how many pages. There's tons of pages of labels, many different sizes, shapes, colors, and they're all faith-based. So here's Mercy is Enough, Grateful, Simply Blessed, Worthy, Blessed. What are some of the other ones here? Grace Upon Grace, Faith, Hope, and Love, Amazing Grace. Just all kinds of different faithful faith sentiments, rather. And so instead of doing everything on every kit, I made that kit so that you can add different things to your projects, and you don't have to have, like, you can add faith elements to any kit to make it more of a faith journal. So this particular kit doesn't have a lot of faith-based elements at this point. So I thought I would just add a little bit of faith-based. I'm just trying to play around before this gets too dry. Thought I would just do a little collage here. This is just a postage stamp, just a council postage stamp. I think I actually just kind of like that. This is one of the faith, or Labels Galore rather. Jesus is my rock, my king, my Lord, my Savior, my healer, my refuge. And this particular label comes in several different sizes. I'm just using a smaller one here. This is, like I said, just a council postage stamp. Those are nice on your projects too. I'm just going to put that one a bit at an angle. Do I want that to come down? Yeah, I do. So I'll just put a bit more glue on that doily so that comes down. So, I mean, just simple kind of taking some junk, putting it together, and making a cute little collage. And you know, by itself it doesn't look, you know, as interesting. It's funny, I opened it to the same page as the fox this time. But you know, when you see it in the journal, it just really looks interesting, I think. So I'm happy with that. And then inside I've got these two pockets, and I have this trim, and I was thinking I may use a bit of this trim here. I think I might do something else first. I have this, these are just from my scraps as well. Just a little piece of lined scrap. If you don't have any scraps yet, don't worry, you will very soon. If you do this for any length of time. Save little pieces of junk mail, envelopes. Well, I might do a technique video on junk mail envelopes. I've done many different junk mail envelope projects. Just going to put a little strip of this on each side, just for a little bit of interest, just to kind of layer up a bit of interest at the bottom. So we're doing a little bit more than we usually do in our Junk Journal 101 projects. I just wanted to kind of, you know, kick it up a little bit. And then I have, do I want a little bit of this as well? Let's see. I might just do just a little bit of this, just for a little more visual interest, and then it kind of ties together the cover and this piece. Maybe I'll just do it over here, actually. That there. And then I'll just do 3 of these little, I guess they're maybe supposed to be tulips. I got the tape on them. There we go. So there is fabric glue that works well with this kind of stuff. I do have some, but I'm just not going to take the time to take it out right now. Plus, I just want to show you, you don't have to have all of the things to start. This is just my Elmer's glue ball. It takes a few extra minutes to dry, but when it's dry, it works really well. So there's one side. I might do 5 tulips on this side, just because there's a little more room. Get another piece of this doily. So you could use just tiny little pieces of all kinds of things. So glue that on there, and glue my tulips on. When you're gluing stuff like this, you don't need glue every single possible place. I just put dots here and there. So there's my tulips. So it just adds a little bit of interest to the pocket. What else do I want here? I was going to put some labels here, but I think maybe I'm not going to at this point because I think there's enough there. So then I'm going to put my little tags in here, and you can put a little more decoration on these little tags if you want. I'm just going to leave them like that for now. And then what I want to do on my big tags, this big tag is finished. I could put actually one more label on it, just to, his mercies are more. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm just going to put a label there, his mercies are more. This particular tag, or all of these tags we're using this time, have faux stitching, so it looks like you stitched it, but you didn't, so that's kind of nice. These fit into the pockets here, so there's goes one. And then this one here, I'm going to put one of my other circles, so I think I'll put this one there. I think want to ground that a little bit with something. That looks good. What else do I have? That's kind of the same color as that. I'm just going to use a piece of this instead. Yeah, I think I like that. One thing with junk journaling is, you know, it doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's don't overthink it. It's the process that is so enjoyable, I think. You know, some crafts you really need to be precise, and things don't look right if you don't, you know, spend hours, you know, thinking about where exactly to do things or placing things. And one thing with junk journal is you know, you're just using junk, so you just kind of put things on, and if they look okay, they look okay, and if, you know, if they don't, they, you know, once everything is together in a journal, you'd be surprised how much it looks better. So I'm just going to put that guy there. And I've got another one of my labels galore here that says Simply Blessed. So I'm just going to glue that one onto the top here. So there's that label. So that tag was done. I like how that looks. So I'm going to put that in the back pocket there. And then I have one more left, and I think for now I'm just going to stick it back there. I may end up using that. I could actually even glue it there, and then that would just kind of, you know, that might be an idea. I could glue it there, and then this tag would just kind of come in and out. I'm going to try that. Keep in mind with these digitals, you can print them out more than once if you want to. So if you want more circles another place on your project or tags, you can print it more than once, and if you put little bits of labels or words or pictures or whatever onto your tags, they'll look totally different. So there's our little project, just very simple. There's the cover. So we're going to glue it into our book now. Just find a place to put it where there's not too much bulk yet. Let's see what's on. Just have a pocket on this side and nothing on this side yet. I might put it on this side. So again, what I want to do is I want to glue on, my thumb is on the top. I usually put my thumb on the place that I don't want to glue, and then I won't have to accidentally glue something. When I'm gluing on this side, I want to glue around this notch. And then I'll glue that onto there. Maybe put it a little bit towards the outside edge here. And actually, now I'm thinking I probably should have maybe put it on this side, because now my ribbons are going to get kind of bent as I turn them over, but that's okay. So just gonna make sure that that is solid on there. And you know, actually what I could do is I could put the tag there, and then I could even put 2 tags there, and then I could just put something else in there, which was not what I intended, but I think I'll put 1 in here and 1 up there. And then I still have this spot that I can put something else on. So there you go. So there's our project for today. Open it up. You've got tons of pockets here, tons of places for tags, and our decorated tags there. So thank you so much for watching today. Go grab your freebie and make your little pouch pocket flip, I think is what I called it, and stick it in your book. So thanks friends, blessings, and we'll see you soon.